Good day, everyone. I am by Jovida Dipiang. This is Lesson 3, The Changing Global Landscape for the 21st Century Teachers. And this is the learning outcomes. Identify the different changes occurring in the global teaching learning landscape. Identify the 21st century life and career skills for learning and teachers. Demonstrate understanding of the UNESCO's 4 pillars of learning as this apply to the 21st century. Changing global landscape and the 21st century skills for teachers. Where we are in the era of borderless flat world, barriers have been broken by new information and communication technologies. In these changes of the global landscape and the 21st century, there is an urgent need to understand the new landscape that is brought about by the changes in leap and bounds of that century. There are 5 different changes and development in 21st century teaching and learning. The new learning environment idea of learning environment has bounded from the confines of the 4 walls of the classroom to place and space that support learning. It is a place where interactions of the learners among one another with the teacher and the surrounding happen. 4 characterization are the following: learned center, new space and borderless, enhanced opportunity for creativity and innovations, and use of ICT. Learn Center. A learning center is a self-contained area of a classroom where students can engage in independent and self-directed learning activities. A learning center is designated area in the classroom where students can easily access a range of learning materials in an engaging and effective manner. New space and borderless. The student is the center of education in new space and borderless education, receiving exposure to tailored programs, self-learning, self-actualizing process, method, and self-rewarding through multiple sources of learning. Network learning and unlimited opportunities, opportunities lifelong and anywhere. Number 3, enhance opportunity for creativity and innovations. Giving people freedom to test out their ideas and strive for what they want to be is a simple way to encourage creativity and innovation. Build in an opportunity for growth in new direction in each role. Lastly, use of ICT. ICT facilitates the use of novels, educational material, and the renewal of learning techniques, establishing more active student collaboration and the concurrent acquisition of technological expertise. Furthermore, ICTs are quite beneficial in the development and discernment. Number 2, the new learning contents. The new learning environment and the explosion of knowledge content of subject matter of learning has been modified. 4 characteristic of the new learning content. Integrated, interdisciplinary, demands-driven, emphasis on learning tools on how to retrieve knowledge, and balance of scientific, technological, cultural, global, and local concept. Integrated or interdisciplinary. The integrated or disciplinary curriculum or IC is a successful and relevant method of teaching 21st century competence and using the transdisciplinary abilities required to solve complex global problems. Demand driven. This is known as driven education. And schools are focusing more than ever on ensuring graduates are job ready and have access to lucrative employment throughout their lives. Demands driven education adjusts to both the learners and the employer's demands. Emphasis on learning tools on how to retrieve knowledge. Retrieval practice improve learning by drawing material from students' heads rather than shoving in their heads. We have tendency to believe that the majority of learning occurs at the initial encoding stage when students in knowledge by reading, vising, and taking notes. Balance of scientist, technological, cultural, global, and local concept. The approach is a synthesis of science, technological, and society. The STS learning model emphasizes social and technological aspects. Students learn science in the context of real-world experience using the STS learn paradigm. The new process of learning and how this will be facilitated. Advancement in the study of the mind and cognition. Various processes of learning involved with human intervention of teachers and peers as well as non-human intervention of artificial intelligence AI robot. Multiple ways of learning: face-to-face, distance learning, blended modalities, experiential, and lifelong. Face-to-face. Face-to-face learning is an educational method in which a group of students is taught content and learning material in person. This enables a learner and an instructor to interact in real time in it. In its the most common form of learning instruction. Distance learning. Distance learning, also known as distance education, e-learning, and online learning, is a type of education in which teacher and students are physically separated during instruction and various technologies are used to support student-teacher and student-student interaction. Blended modalities. It is given people and opportunities to have best of both worlds. For example, a student may attend lesson in traditional classroom settings and then enhance the curriculum with online multimedia coursework. Experiential and lifelong. Experiential learn as opposed to lectures, simulation, dialogues, or other teaching approaches. Force the learner to act in the real world. This sort of learning takes pupils beyond the confines of the traditional classroom. It emphasizes inquiry, application, and authentic learning experience. The new type of learning: confident person, self-directed, a concerned citizen, a member of new generation. Confident person. Okay. Confident implies being sure of yourself and your talents. Not arrogantly, but realistically and securely. Being confident does not imply feeling superior to others. It's quiet inner knowing that you can do it. People who are confident feel secure rather than insecure. Self-direct. People know that there attitudes, behavior, and issues are the result of their own decision. They are more likely to accept responsibility for their attitude and behaviors, and they are regarded by others as reliable and trustworthy individuals. A concerned citizen is a citizen of a country who is intensely concerned about a subject he just saw on television, even even if the student has no bearing on his life in any way. Occasionally, the worry beyond permanent. Understanding student from generation. Z generation is also known as post-millennial, the generation, and digital natives, according to the Pew Research Center. This is a group includes anyway born after 1997 to 2012. There are characteristics who develop the life and career skills. What are these life and career skills? Life and career skills: flexibility, adaptability, initiative and self-direction; social and cross-cultural skills: productivity and accountability, leadership and responsibility. Life and career skills: student must pay close attention to build adequate life and career skills in order to negotiate and complicated life and work context of the globally competitive digital era. Flexibility and adaptability. The more you adaptability, the more effective you will be overall. This is significant because being able to handle change with easily frees up time that would otherwise be spent stressing out when a new difficulty presents itself. Ini- Initiative and self-direction. Taking initiative and being self-directed imply initiating of seeking ways to assist and complete work without being promoted to do so. Social and cultural skills. Abilities are defined as the capacity to effectively interact with people from other cultures. These skills enable you to comprehend and interact with people who diverse cultures. Social and cross-culture abilities necessitate an open mind, self-awareness, awareness of others, and cultural knowledge. Productivity and accountability. Being prac- productive is being able to produce something of a certain quality within a specific time frame. Accountability is crucial because this is how we are evaluate for productivity in the workplace. The individuals are held responsibility for the actions they take to fulfill a mission. Leadership and responsibility. Leader's role is to establish, know, and understand the team's vision and direction. With a clear vision of the desired future in mind, it is the leader's role to set the team in motion to achieve those objectives. Anything less isn't leadership. Number 5, the new type of teacher. The teacher for the 21st century learners teach within the context of new environment, new content of knowledge, and new process of teaching and learning. There are new types of teachers must possess the following characteristics: clear standards and accountability, use board pedagogies, skillful in the integration of ICT in pedagogy, skillful in the use of assessment, practice the core values of inspiring teachers, develop life and career skills for the 21st century beyond. Clear standard and accountability. The role of teacher is to educate kids. As a result, instructors should be held accountable for the education that all children receive. Use board pedagogies. The term pedagogies refers to the approach used by educators to teach in both practice and theory. Pedagogy is affected by a teacher's teaching views and links the interaction between culture and variety of teaching method. Pedagogy is a study of teaching method and how they affect students. Skill in the integration of ICT in pedagogy. The ability of teacher to structure learning in new ways, to integrate technology appropriately with a pedagogy, to develop socially active classrooms, and to encourage cooperative interaction, collaborative learning, and group work will be critical to the successful integration of ICT into the learning environment. Skillful in the use of assessment. Assessment is beneficial to both student and teacher. The teacher can see if their teaching is effective by conducting frequent assessment. Assessment also assists teacher to assure that students learn what they need to know in order to satisfy the learning object of the course. Practice the core values of inspiring teacher. Teachers are accountable of the entire growth of society through the education they provide to students in order to educate cap- 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 capable labor. Teacher that process and demonstrate this basic principle will be able to appear as stronger leader, facilitator, and educator. Develop life career skills for the 21st century and beyond. They will be more flexible and adaptive in our always changing workforce. Will be able to operate cross-cultural and will be able to take on leadership position, and they develop abilities such as critical thinking and perspective talking. UNESCO's four pillars of learning from Delors report. Jacques Delors wrote a report for the UNESCO entitled Learning. A treasure from within. It was because he believes that within each child lies a treasure. Delors in 1996, the four pillars are seamlessly linked to each other. The four pillars of learning are learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, learning to live together. Learning to know, this implies thirst for knowing and acquisition of such knowledge. More so, it is learning how to learn throughout one's life. After completing formal education, there should be great desire to gain more understanding of the world and other people. An individual who is knowledgeable is literature. Being literature is always literate to being knowledgeable. Thus, the definition of the word literacy evolved through time. The changing global landscape, literacy in the 21st century is not limited to the definition given previous. So here are some 21st century literacies as presented by Semo. The 21st century literacies. The art and creativity, ecoliteracy, cyber literacy, digital literacy, information and ICT knowledge, financial literacy, media literacy, social emotional literacy, globalization and multicultural literacy. The art and creativity, the art and creativity. Creativity and innovation are 21st century skills, thus in solving problem and creating artwork are part of this literacy. Ecoliteracy, acquisition of knowledge about climate changes, population, loss of natural habitats and biodiversity solution on how these environmental problems could be addressed must be practiced. Cyber literacy, digital literacy, information and ICT knowledge. Being in the rapid changes in the use of technology for teaching and learning, teachers and learning needs to develop and enhance the use of digital gadgets, whether online, off or offline. Financial literacy, basic knowledge about the basic of economic and financial management. This is necessary for every learner and teacher to be able to handle income, expenses, and investment to be economically secure. Media literacy. Teachers or learners must learn how to discern about any information which are transmitted via various forms and media. Social emotional literacy. Knowledge about social dimension and social skills that are appropriate in context of society. Emotional intelligence must also be developed to be able to effectively manage the stress due to the changing environment of the 21st century society. Globalization and multicultural literacy. If you respect multicultural diversity, aware of global trends, acknowledge difference and similarities, respect each other dignity, when then you are multicultural literate. Learning to do. To apply knowledge, one must have the 21st century skills. Qualifications now is equate to skill and not to knowledge alone. Learning by doing is a pragmatist view of life. Knowledge acquired in nothing unless applied in daily life. Learning to be. One of the most difficult things to do among the pillars in it implies developing the potential of each individual. Continuing education must improve self-knowledge and self-esteem. What would you like to be? So this question will require self-analysis, reflection, social skills, creativity, and personal discovery. Learning to live together. This refers to the relationship among people. This is bring in together a community to work harmoniously, to live in peace and prosperity, and to show respect and concern for others. It also refers to interpersonal skill that will enable people to live side by side with other at home, in school, and in the community and the whole world. All the pillars are interrelated with each other as basic principle. One pillars will not function if it stands alone. There is need to connect in order to address the 21st century demands for teaching and learning. And that's all. Thank you.